So if you're looking at your lesson plan, you're going to go through the warm-up. This is only going to take you about 5 minutes. And it's right after it's this yellow sheet. Okay. You're going to be doing this for 5 minutes. You get to choose which one of these activities.
But if you want to switch, I also can switch. Okay.
All right, thank you. So,
They just have a binder.
as a matter of fact, I'm going to give this to you, so you can, so it can guide you.
Okay. But that was good.
Oh, okay. So that second section, which I'm calling cardinality, and I'm focusing on that first skill of being able to look at those 6 dots or 6 blocks and go 6, and not have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many, Lexa? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody who does not have cardinality doesn't know that last number sums up the whole, right? So we have 3 activities that we do to address that. The first 2 are very much alike. Play-Doh and hopscotch. And I think that I have enough dots that you guys can practice being teachers and students. And I'm going to practice with come on. All right. So we're going to go through the same sequence with hopscotch that we just went through with Play-Doh. So everybody turn to hopscotch.
Okay. If you want to sit, that's all right. Too also, so you can kind of peek off.
And, yeah, and could she take a peek?
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna go through the same sequence. I want, and if Mike is brand new to, I mean, he's still kind of learning 5. He's not real solid on it yet. I'm gonna slip in some parts to 5 without him even knowing it. I'm gonna say, what shape do you see?
What do I see?
You see a dot. Say dot.
Yeah, dot.
Jump on the dot.
Yep.
How many did you jump on?
How did I jump?
How many did you jump on?
1.
Good, jump on.
Fine.
All right. Do you see the line?
Yes, I see.
Jump on it and say line.
Line.
Good. How many did you jump on?
2.
Yes, jump on. Do you see the triangle?
I see that.
Jump on it and say triangle.
Yes,
that's what they do! That's great! Thank you! That's what they do, and it's fabulous, and you say, yes, you know what, we have a video online where I have Prince would go, when he'd put his 2 hands here, and he'd put his head right there, and he'd go upside down, and he'd say, triangle! And you say, yes, that's a triangle, right? But now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to jump on these 2 at once, and then this one, and say triangle.
Triangle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, very good. And the reason why I want to celebrate Twister moves, are you familiar with the game Twister? All kinds of contortions. You're not going to believe what these kids do
Right.
to cover the dots with all parts of their body. Celebrate that. Have fun. That's the unexpected. Just delight in that. But I do want them jumping through it because then that's how we build the number sentences. I want those to become fluent, so I want them jumping through it. All right. Do you see the square?
Yes.
Jump on the square and say square.
Here?
Yes. Jump on. Oh. How many did you jump on?
4.
Yeah, jump on it again. Say 4.
4.
Good job. Go ahead and jump on. All right. And do you see the X?
I see the X.
Jump on the X. Very good. Now what I want you to do, excellent. Give me that. Now what I want you to do is I want you to jump 2, 1, 2.
There you go.
Yes! How many did you jump on?
5.
Excellent. Okay. So that's just building carnality. And you can see how we're slipping a little in the parts of a whole in that activity. But always leading with the shape. You know your child. You know your child. You're going to see them over and over and over again. You're going to know that they don't need the prompt for the shape for 1 and 2, but maybe 3 and 4, or maybe they've got 3 and 4 solid. Jump on the 3. You know. Excuse me. Yes. So that's level 1. Do I have a volunteer for level 2?
I can do level 2.
All right. So now, and I know, yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna butcher this. And I want you to feel comfortable butchering this. And I want you to see that the way I have it written is, it needs more scaffolding, this level. I need to lead, in the beginning, I want you to lead with the shapes. And my instructions don't lead with shapes. Do you understand what I mean by that? So, I think the instruction says, how many do you have?
5.
Very good. Now, I think that's the way it's said, right? How many do you have? 5? Now, I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to lead with the shape. Do you see the X?
I see the X.
How many is that?
5.
Good. Do you see the triangle in the X?
Yes.
All right. Jump on the triangle and say triangle.
Triangle.
How many did you jump on?
3.
Very good. What shape do you see in front of you?
A line.
Jump on the line. Say line.
Line.
How many did you jump on?
2.
Very good. So, do you see the difference between what I did and the way I wrote it? The way I wrote it doesn't have that modeling and the concrete prompt of the shape. We just, do you see the 5? Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you see the 3 inside the 5? I think, is that the way I wrote it? I'm not sure.
Do you see the triangle in the X pattern?
Oh, good! Yay! I thought I messed up on that. That's great. All right. Move back. All right, let's move to level 3. So, did you notice that I did not complicate that with the language of a number sentence?
Does it matter what color the dots are?
Good question.
Because should they be red if I'm not doing that?
That's a really good question, because when I built up to the 5, I used blue dots, right? They're much more flexible than we are.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing discussion, Joy. You're not the first one who has asked that. And it's been an ongoing conversation. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to build a number sentence. I would like, so they've been practicing, they see the parts of 5. How many do you see in front of you?
5.
Yes, say, circle around, say 5.
5.
I want you to take away 2. Jump on the 2. Okay. Equals. How many are in front of you?
3.
Jump on it. Very good. I want you to go back, and I want you to do that again. But I want your feet to match your mouth. All right, ready?
5. Take away 2.
Mm-hmm. And I could prompt her because she probably doesn't remember. All right.
Equals 3.
Very good. All right. All right. Now the prompts that I use, the visual prompts that I use, we're going to be learning in another activity, but that will help her build the language that she needs to use while she's jumping through it. And then, so do that again.
5. Take away 2 equals 3.
Good. Stand right here. All right. I want you to give me an addition sentence starting with 3.
3 plus
Jump on the 3.
3 plus 2 equals 5.
Yeah, all right. So it's the same thing with the Play-Doh. We're just doing the inverse. And I think what I wrote in the directions, that I would like to cue them with the number fact, a card with the number fact on it. And we have those, but they're just not here today. So, yeah. Okay. So in Hunt for It, what you are going to do, this is yours. Okay, I'm going to put this down in front of you. I'm going to put this down in front of you. And I'm going to say, we're going to pretend like you guys are just beginning of year kindergartners. And I'm going to say, do you see a dot? Do you see a dot? And one of you is going to pick up a dot and say, and so what I want them to do is I want them to be able to see inside this mess a dot. Somebody at your table, grab a dot, okay?
Grab it up.
All right. All right.
Done.
Yeah, cover it up. And the next person, do you see a line? All right, cover up the line. Okay. All right, do you see a triangle? All right, so we are, I'd like you to put the rest aside.
Do we cover up the triangle?
Yes, please cover up the triangle, thank you.
Which one doesn't have?
All right. And we're gonna look, I always have the kids look for the one in the middle. So I'm gonna put two in front of you. You're gonna look for the 2. And we do this in pairs, or you do it with your student, and they'll want you to go while they mix it up. And we do all kinds of things, like they either stand up, they can dance, or they turn around while you move the buckets. We would have them run to the opposite end of the room and touch a wall, and they love it. It's ridiculous. And then they want you to get up and run or turn around and dance or do whatever. Just have fun doing this. So you're going to turn them around and you're going to pick up a box. Pick up a cup. Go ahead, pick up one of the cups. Yes. All right. Is that a 2? Is that a 2? No. What shape did you pick up? Dot.
Triangle.
Triangle. What?
Dot.
Dot. Okay. Now, that's the lowest level, right? More advanced is you're going to say which one is more, right? After they're really comfortable with whether it's a dot or a line or a triangle, which one's more? Is it the line or is it what you picked up? And so it's super basic. I can't tell you how much mileage you're going to get out of this. It's just goofy. They love it. But then you are able to get in that one more, one less. And you could even say which one is more. How much more? Which one? And that's going to be easier than saying how much less. And if they need to if they're not sure, then you can provide the scaffolding by, if they're not sure which one's more, you can provide the scaffolding by having them put the blocks on the dot and seeing that this one has one more than other. So are you tracking me with the scaffolding, how you can make it more concrete, how you can help them move things if they're not actually just seeing it, right? The other level that I think that we'd like to try, but it could become problematic, is putting those plastic numerals underneath. And so putting 1, 2, 3 underneath, and we have not done that. And then having the 2 dots on here. So I don't know. I'm interested in your feedback. We found that last year we did not make enough connections between the game, all the visuals and the numerical representations. This may not be a game that really lends itself to that. But I would love to get some feedback from you, and if you think that getting those little plastic magnetic numbers to play this game might be helpful, we can do that. And we could put little stickers on it, so we have the dots on top of the numerals. So I hope I've made it really clear that we're a work in progress. Have I? All right, good. All right, so you get to choose between Play-Doh, hopscotch, or hunt for it. You have 5 minutes. Maybe you just want to do a hopscotch for a minute, just to get them up and move. Or I had a young man who I taught. He's just so tactile. He wants to do the Play-Doh. That was what he's comfortable with. It's going to be what you prefer in the beginning, to be honest with you, because I really want you comfortable. If you're comfortable, your kids will be comfortable, and then you can just try something new. So that's the next 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes is walking the number line.
They are in here in the back.
Yeah. All right. And the main objective is your kids are going to have these number lines taped up here above the blackboard, and that's how they're supposed to be able to add and subtract. They're supposed to do this, and they may even have a little number line in front of them, and it's just going to have numbers on it, and they're going to go forwards and backwards, and they're going to know that going to the right is going to be adding and going to the left is subtracting, because everybody else in the classroom knows it. But the truth is they won't. That's just going to be hard for them because it's numbers and it's movement to the left and right, so directionality they're already having issues with. So my goal with this, and I cannot wait to hear what Mr. Wood has to say about it. My job is, as Amy said, is to support what's happening in the classroom. He would not do this because this is more counting. But I need to make what the models that they see in their classroom more meaningful. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we do is we start with subtraction, because it's good to start with the whole first and then take things away. They can see that instead of adding things together and imagining what would happen if I added things together. So, do you want me to bring some chairs up? Brian and Madison, I'm not going to make you do anything, Madison. Just have a
If you
seat.
can't see.
If you can't see. Miss
If you can't
Louise,
see,
can
you're
you?
okay.
Okay, all right, yeah, this is, Miss Louise is no hand in this. All right. So I'm gonna pretend that Audrey is just learning 4. I want you to sit right here, Neil, right in front of 4.
I agree.
All right. All right, so at this point, all I want Audrey to know is that when we take things away, we move down the number line. When we add things, we move up. All right, so I'm going to say, Audrey, how many do you have? 4. Circle it and say 4. Take away this one and hand it to me. Okay, how many do you have now?
3.
Yes, move your 3 blocks down. It is this simple. How many do you have in front of you?
3.
Circle that and say 3.
3.
Take one away and hand it to me. Oh, wait a minute. What shape do you see in front of you?
Line.
Very good. How many is in the line?
2.
Good. What do you have in front of you?
A line.
Yes. How many is in the line? Good.
2.
Hand me one. What shape do you have in front of you?
Dot.
Dot. Move dot. Okay. So it's okay if if you use the shape if you need to. If you don't need to, just use the numbers. All right, ready? What shape do you have in front of you?
Dot.
How many is in it?
1.
Mixed dot? Add one more. How many do you have?
2.
Yes, let me back up. What shape do you have?
Line.
How many is that?
2.
Yes, let's move forward.
I'm wondering if they put it like that, would it be better for the tutor to set it down? Depending on the kid. If you know that you can hand it to them and they put it down and they know that it's 2, okay. But I was just thinking, like, what if I, for fun, thought it would be fun to put it there? And then all of a sudden, is that a line? It is, but not like that line.
I think I'd roll with it. I'd say, what shape does that make?
Okay. Line.
Yeah.
So then but using your hand to show them the shape,
Yeah.
if they can. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining things.
Yeah, I think I'd roll with it. Okay. Let's move that. What shape, how many do you have? Because at this point, you know what you got. What do you have? 2.
On the card.
All right.
it's a cross.
What shape did you just make?
Triangle.
Yes, can you make that look a little more like our triangle? Okay, how many is that?
3.
Very good. I want you to practice saying yes and. Because there is thinking that's happening in there, and I want you to be able to kind of put yourself in their shoes and figure out, and I don't, when I say yes and, like if you put, go ahead. If she did this and called it a triangle, make that a triangle, so instead of saying, do you understand what I'm saying? So you're not going to say specifically yes and, but I kind of want you to be in that mindset. Yes?
So after you've given her the blocks to do, like either the subtraction or the addition, I've noticed that once she answers the 2 questions, you say, let's move up or let's move down. If we notice that they're too reliant on us telling them whether they need to move up and down, even after like noticing that there is an additional block, should we have them like wait, like put a gap in between?
Yes,
us?
I think
Okay.
absolutely, and see if they need the prompt.
Okay.
Absolutely, and that's that scaffolding.
Well, yeah, because
Right?
in class they won't have us to be like, all right, let's move forward or let's move back.
Right.
So I was just wondering if they
Right.
become too reliant on us
Excellent.
doing that.
Excellent. Okay, so you do this. All right. What shape did you make?
Triangle.
Okay.
That's probably what I would do.
Thank you, Madison. All right. How many?
3.
All right. Add one more. What shape did you make?
Square.
How many is that?
4.
All right, you got it, right? All right. That is, I would agree with Miss Christie and Miss Spence. That is the basic objective for walking the number line, is helping them bring meaning to. When you take one away, the numbers are getting smaller because the number of, and smaller, the number of dots that we have is less, right? My kids have the hardest time understanding operations. So I combine, after they're familiar with all of this, I then combine hand signals to help them understand the meaning of operations in this. It may seem too much. I have another activity that's hysterical that you may choose to do instead, but let me show you this one. So let's start with 3. Yeah, all right. How many do you have?
3.
Pick up this one and say, take away 1.
Take away 1.
Good. Equals,
Equals
how many?
2.
Very good. Okay.
2. Take away.
You gotta pick up 1.
Take away 1 equals 1.
Okay. All right. Now, this is so intuitive, the takeaway. And here's my minus sign. And I would even say, did you see a minus sign? All right, I want you to put your hand right here, this hand right here, and say 1.
1.
All right, give me this hand. I want you to say plus, say plus,
Plus
and put this down and say 1
1
equals.
equals 2.
Yeah, so I want them to see that this is an action of joining. It's not as intuitive of this is an action of taking away. But I'll have kids who say 2 equals 3 minus 5. The symbols are meaningless. This is his way of bringing meaning to symbols. Let me show you what he does, which is hysterical. All right. He has the kids stand up. Go ahead, Audrey. I don't want you to get hurt. You're going to have to move. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He has the kids hold up markers and say 3. And he'll say, give me a subtraction problem. 3, take away 1. 3, take away 1. It makes an impression. Equals 2. And then they pick it up and they say 2 plus 1 equals 3. That's clear, right? I don't know if it's clear on here. And so if you want to just not muddy the waters and just go up and down on the number line and you only go down 2 and you go up 2. Don't spend a whole lot of time on this. And then throw markers, they'll remember it. It got a little silly after a while with my kids, they were, so we don't throw markers anymore.
Maybe like Nerf balls.
Well, the beautiful thing
Yeah,
about
it would
this
be
is
like
you can
cleaning up.
see it, right?
Or maybe those little Nerf like sticks.
Yeah.
But I know they like.
Yeah, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
They do. It's fun. So, let me see time-wise. I think I'm going to stop there. Because, the last thing, numerals. Let's go ahead and turn to writing numerals. All right. So writing numerals is also, you guys don't have it. Okay, let me get you.
It's the very last section.
No,
Oh.
did I put it here yet?
Oh, no. Mine isn't
No,
labeled.
I didn't get it for you. All right, so I need to get that for you. Thank you.
We're bringing to the school for kids that
All right,
it's multi-sense.
yeah.
But this, it's based off of what Amanda said in prior school, so these tools carry.
Yeah, yeah. So, this is the prompt that the math coach at King uses. And I got this from Handwriting Without Tears. So you're going to see a prompt. This is so important for our kids to have a script to talk through writing a numeral. And I really want you to start with skywriting. And skywriting is making sure that your arm is as stiff as a pencil. And the movement isn't from the elbow, it's from the shoulder socket, all right? And apparently, because this is gross motor, it takes less cognitive effort to be able to do that. I don't know what that means.
There's a lot of tiny muscles, as you.
Oh, good, yes, clear.
There's a lot of tiny muscles in your hand, and you have a lot more muscles up here, so it's a lot easier to make bigger movements than these tiny little small movements, which is probably why a lot of kids have trouble with dexterity
Yeah,
and moving their fingers.
okay.
And that's
Thank
probably,
you.
I don't know, but I would guess why they see in a child with dyslexia that they more often need OT than
Oh.
kids that don't. One of the earliest signs that, like red flags of, oh, this kid might struggle with reading is that they struggle with small motor.
So the corrections with the fingers on the subitizing skill is really important. That talking about
Yeah.
how your finger holds 3. And you may need to be much more explicit than what, put your thumb on top of your pinky when you hold 3. You may need to be more explicit with those directions. All right, so 2, I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but 2 is starting point, and that's key. Our kids struggle with, if they start right here, then they're gonna make a backwards 2. So knowing where the starting point is critical for each one of these numbers. So and you want their mouth to match their arm. Same thing. Starting point, big curve to the corner. Big curve to the corner, walk across number 2, and I'm not sure. I'm sure.
It says candy canes fly.
Yeah, and that's the way they do it in K.
Oh.
And some teachers don't have a script. Some teachers do.
Oh,
And so we're gonna need to align with what they're doing. What does 2 look like from Writing Without Tears, Joy? Will you read that for me? Oh, with the 2 right here.
Oh. Starting corner, big curve down, stop in the corner, make a line.
Yeah.
So basically, if you hear your kid saying something different, maybe at King it's the candy cane one, or if you hear a kid saying something different, tell us and we can figure out what they learn in the classroom and give you that script instead.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely get that for you before you're there. We can get that information and type that up. So the other thing that we're going to be doing this year, which will be so much fun that we have not done, Miss Louise, is we're going to put 2 Play-Doh balls underneath a paint bag. And a paint bag is just a freezer bag with a little squirt of tempera paint on it. You close it up, you put it on. They're gonna see the 2 dots. And we're gonna coach them in making the number 2, but they're gonna see the two Play-Doh dots underneath their bag while they do it. So I'm really excited about that. And what they do, what he does is he covers the paint bag with talcum powder, baby powder, and it just glides. Yeah, really, just stuff. And that's on his website as well. So I can imagine that might get messy, but I think that would be
Go
a
for the
really
more
cool-
expensive Ziploc bags.
Yes, and best. Yes, yeah. So you want to go to the gross motor to touching on the paint bag, and then we'll have practice sheets that you can practice with a pencil, and they're saying the script every single time that they make that note. Okay.
So that's the worksheet part of the lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You all will be working. And I think what we're going to do, last year, King had some really nice, let me say this. They had some pages that had like birds, 3 birds. And sometimes the figures aligned with our shapes and sometimes they didn't. What I have since learned is having 3 birds is messy for our kids. That it is more helpful if it's just 3 dots and in the shape that we have. But there was a lot of practice on that page that I really liked. I thought, so maybe what we end up doing is we cover up the picture for 2 with the 2 candy canes, right? Whatever it is, but it's just more information than our kids really need. They just need 2 dots. And we'll make those pages. The other thing that we're talking about is using their workbook pages from their classroom and putting on the extra support from their workbook pages and slipping that into a sleeve and having them practice on a with a transparency with the workbook page from their school that has that connection between what we're doing and what they're doing. So that's math support. Yeah.
Do we know which of these does the teacher use? Do
So
we know?
that's what I don't know.
Don't we want to really be consistent on
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So I just put those in there to just give you an
Good
idea.
ideas of what-
You guys have the King script. Yeah.
We don't
We'll
have
find out
anything in that
before.
section.
Oh, I have to get that for you
Or I
guys.
can
Yeah,
go ahead
I will
and
get
grab
that
it
for you
for
guys.
you.
Yeah,
We don't want to be saying candy cane when there are teachers saying.
right.
It's a
Right.
big curve.
And not all teachers use the script. A teacher who had primarily special ed kids at ATA did use the script. She knew that they needed it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,